Hey, so your coworker took credit for your idea? Your partner said something that landed wrong. Yeah, that happens to me too. Basically every day. Here's the thing nobody tells you. The ancient Stoics weren't calm because they avoided people like that. They were calm because they figured out something about conflict that most of us never learn. So let's talk about it. Like actually talk, not lecture. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, ran basically the known world, used to write himself little notes every morning, and one of them goes something like, "Today I'll meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest. That's just how it is." Now that sounds pessimistic. It's actually the opposite. He's not saying people are terrible. He's saying stop being surprised. The second you expect people to always be reasonable, kind, fair, you've set yourself up to get blindsided every single day. And blindsided people don't respond well. They react. So, step one of the Stoic approach isn't a technique. It's a mindset shift. Conflict is not a malfunction of life. It's just life. Once you stop treating it as an emergency, you get your first bit of power back. Okay, here's the big one. Epictetus, he was a slave before he became a philosopher, so he knew a thing or two about not controlling his circumstances. He split the world into two piles. Pile 1, things in your control, your judgments, your choices, how you respond. Pile 2, everything else. What other people say, what they think of you, whether they apologize, whether they even realize they hurt you. Most interpersonal conflict is painful, specifically because we're fighting for control over. We want the other person to admit they're wrong. We want them to feel bad, we want them to change, and maybe they should, but you don't get a vote on that. Try this reframe next time you're mid-argument. What here is actually mine to control? Usually it's just your tone, your next sentence, whether you stay or walk away. That's it. And weirdly, focusing only on that is where you get calmer. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped grabbing at something that was never yours. Here's a line that'll mess with you a little, in a good way. It comes from the Enchiridion. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. Translation, your coworker taking credit doesn't hurt you. Your story about it hurts you. They're trying to undermine me. They think I'm replaceable. This is how it's always going to be. That's the part that actually stings, and it's a story your mind wrote in about 2 seconds. Doesn't mean you're wrong to feel it. It means there's a gap between the event and your reaction. And in that gap is where you actually have a choice. Stoics weren't robots. Seneca got angry. He wrote an entire book about anger because he struggled with it himself. The goal was never feel nothing. The goal was catch the story before it drives the car. Marcus had this trick he used constantly, sometimes called the view from above. When he was mid-conflict, he'd imagine zooming out, way out. This person, this fight, on this Tuesday, on this planet, in this galaxy. Suddenly, the thing that felt like a 5-alarm fire looks like 2 people disagreeing for an afternoon. You can do a smaller version of this. Next time you're in it, ask, will this matter in a year? A month? Honestly, will it matter tomorrow? Sometimes the answer is yes, it's actually important. Great, now you know it's worth real effort. But most of the time, the honest answer is no, and that alone can drop your shoulders 2 inches. This is the part people resist the most, so bear with me. The Stoics believe difficult people are basically training equipment, not in a smug way, in a practical way. You don't build patience by hanging out with patient people. You build it by dealing with the person who tests it. Marcus again. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The annoying coworker, the defensive partner, the friend who always has to be right, they're not obstacles to your peace. Handling them well is the practice. There's no separate, easier life happening somewhere else where you get to skip this rep. That doesn't mean stay in situations that are genuinely harmful. Stoicism isn't a doormat philosophy. Epictetus also said know when to walk away. But for the everyday friction, the traffic, the snippy email, the family dinner comment, that's your opportunity, not your enemy. So next time you feel that heat rising, here's the quick version. Pause before reacting, even 2 seconds. Ask what's actually in your control here. Notice the story you're telling yourself about their intentions and hold it loosely. Zoom out and ask if this matters in a week. And if you can, get a little curious about what this person is teaching you instead of just wanting them gone. None of this makes conflict disappear. People are still going to be late, rude, wrong, difficult. Marcus told you that at 6 a.m. every morning for a reason. But you get to decide what happens after that. And honestly, that's more control than most people ever use. That's the Stoic approach, not don't feel it. Just a don't hand it the whole steering wheel. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Think deeply, live intentionally, repeat continually.